September 2007, Las Vegas. A man sits alone in a hotel room. 2 laptops open on the desk. The air conditioning hums. Outside, the Strip is lit up. Inside, something else is happening. On the first screen, a high-stakes poker game unfolds in real time. 5 players seated around a virtual table. $25,000 minimum buy-in. Cards dealt face down, hidden from everyone. Almost everyone. On the second screen, a window displays something no player should ever see. Every card, every hand, every opponent exposed. Aces, kings, bluffs, traps. All of it visible, all of it exploitable. He clicks, he bets, he wins. He does it again and again. Across the world, thousands of players log in from bedrooms in Ohio, apartments in London, dorm rooms in Seoul. They think they're gambling. They think the cards are random. They think they have a chance. They're wrong. The man in the hotel room knows exactly what they're holding. He's been doing this for 4 years, and tonight, he cannot lose. His name is Russ Hamilton, 1994 world champion of poker, co-founder of Ultimate Bet, and the man behind the biggest online cheating scandal in gambling history. This is the story of how $50 million was stolen from ordinary players, how the system was rigged from the inside, and how the man who did it got away with everything. May 1994, Las Vegas, Binion's Horseshoe Casino. The World Series of Poker is celebrating its 25th anniversary. 25 years since Benny Binion invited 7 men to play a single game of no-limit Texas Hold'em. To mark the occasion, the organizers announce a special prize. The winner receives $1 million in cash, the gold bracelet, the title of world champion, and their body weight in silver. 268 players buy in at $10,000 each, the largest field in World Series history. The prize pool reaches $2.68 million. At the final table, surrounded by cameras and cigarette smoke, 6 players remain. Vince Bergio, Al Crux, Robert Turner, John Spadavecchia, Hugh Vincent, and Russ Hamilton. Hamilton is 46 years old. He weighs 330 pounds. The tournament organizers are hoping someone else wins. Hamilton wasn't supposed to be here. He grew up in Detroit, enrolled at a local college, studied electrical engineering. The plan was simple: graduate, get a job, live a normal life. Then, a professor told him something. He said Hamilton had the mind for poker, the mathematical intuition, the emotional control, the ability to read people faster than they could read him. Hamilton dropped out. He started playing underground games around Detroit. Gambling was illegal in Michigan. He didn't care. The games happened in back rooms and basements. Cash only, no receipts, no records. He learned to win. He learned to survive. At 36, he moved to Las Vegas. For 10 years, he played the poker circuit, small tournaments, local games, the Horseshoe, the Mirage, the Golden Nugget. He made final tables, won side events, built a reputation. But he never won the main event. Not until now. The final hand. The board shows 8-6-2. Hugh Vincent, the last opponent standing, pushes all in. He holds 8-5. Top pair, weak kicker. Hamilton calls. He turns over King 8. Same pair, better kicker. The turn brings a 10. The river, a jack. Neither card matters. Russ Hamilton is the 1994 world champion of poker. The crowd erupts. Hamilton shakes the dealer's hand, poses with the gold bracelet and $1 million in cash. Then comes the silver. 43 bars, roughly $30,000 worth. The organizers later admitted Hamilton had eaten steak and 4 banana sundaes before the weigh-in. He wanted to maximize the payout. "They can take all the money," Hamilton said afterward. "They can take the silver, but they can never take that picture off the wall." He was wrong. Spring 2003, Nashville, Tennessee. Chris Moneymaker sits in front of his computer. He's 27 years old, works as an accountant. has a wife, a mortgage, and $8,000 in credit card debt. He also has a PokerStars account with about $200 in it. Tonight, he's looking for a cash game, something small. He enters what he thinks is an $86 sit-and-go tournament. It's not. It's a satellite, a feeder tournament. First prize isn't cash, it's a seat in another tournament. Win that one, and you get a $10,000 entry to the World Series main event. Moneymaker doesn't realize this until he's already won. Now, he's in the $630 qualifier, 69 players, 3 seats to Vegas. He doesn't want any of them. Fourth place pays $8,000 cash, exactly what he owes on his credit cards. Moneymaker starts dumping chips, making bad calls, trying to finish fourth. A friend calls him, offers $5,000 for half his action if he wins the seat. Moneymaker changes strategy, starts playing to win, finishes in the top 3. 3 weeks later, he's sitting in Las Vegas. 839 players, $10,000 buy-in, the biggest poker tournament in the world. Day 1, he survives. Day 2, he builds chips. Day 3, he knocks out Johnny Chan, 2-time world champion, gone. Day 4, he eliminates Phil Ivey, the best player in the world, gone. Day 5, heads up against Sam Farha. Farha is a professional. He's spent his entire life preparing for this moment. Moneymaker bluffs him off a pair of 9s with nothing but king high. The final hand, Moneymaker holds 5-4. The board runs out 4, 5, 8, Jack, 5. Full house. Chris Moneymaker, accountant, amateur, is the 2003 World Champion of Poker. He wins $2.5 million. ESPN broadcasts the tournament with hole card cameras. For the first time, viewers can see what the players are holding. They can watch the bluffs, see the reads. Online poker explodes. The 2004 main event draws 2,576 players. 2005 draws 5,619, 10 times larger in 3 years. Online poker sites can't process signups fast enough. Servers crash. Waiting lists grow. Every accountant, every college student, every retiree with a laptop believes the same thing. If Moneymaker can do it, so can I. Russ Hamilton watches the money come in. Millions of players, billions of dollars. All of it flowing through the internet. Unregulated, unprotected. And he has an idea. The software came first. In the late 1990s, Craig Pearson and John Carl founded a company called IE Logic. They built gaming software, originally for massive online role-playing games. But Pearson played poker, and on a trip to Vegas, he met Russ Hamilton. Hamilton was a world champion. He knew everyone in the poker world. Phil Hellmuth, Annie Duke, the biggest names in the game, and everyone knew him. Hamilton had a pitch: use the software for online poker, build a platform, capture the boom. The division was simple. Pearson would handle the technology, Hamilton would handle the poker world. March 1st, 2001, Ultimate Bet goes live. The site was licensed by the Kanawake Gaming Commission, a regulatory body run by the Mohawk Nation near Montreal, Canada. Operations ran from Costa Rica. American players could access it freely. U.S. authorities had no jurisdiction. Hamilton recruited the biggest names in poker to promote the site. Phil Hellmuth became the face of the brand. 11 World Series bracelets, the most recognizable poker player on Earth. Annie Duke joined too, World Series champion, celebrity ambassador. Players trusted them. Players trusted the site. By 2006, online gambling generated $18.4 billion in annual revenue. Ultimate Bet was one of the biggest sites in the world. Millions of players, hundreds of millions in action. But buried in the code was a feature that should never have existed. The developers called it God Mode. God Mode was built for testing. When IE Logic created the software, engineers needed a way to observe games in progress, to monitor for bugs, to verify the random number generator was actually random. So they built an administrative account that could see every card on the table in real time. The account was called Audit Monster. There were two versions, Audit Monster 1, Audit Monster 2. Both had the same capability, total visibility, every hole card, every flop, every turn, every river. Nothing hidden. Before launch, some engineers argued the feature should be removed. The potential for abuse was obvious. Anyone with access could see opponents' hands. They would be unbeatable. They could steal millions from players who thought they were gambling, but were actually being robbed. Others disagreed. Keep it for security purposes, they said. Just restrict access to a few trusted accounts. The debate was never resolved. God mode stayed in the live system. It was never disclosed to regulators, never documented in licensing applications, never mentioned to the Kahnawake Gaming Commission. Sometime in 2003, someone began using it to cheat. The method was simple. Step 1. Open 2 browser windows. Step 2. In the first window, log into Audit Monster. This account couldn't play. It could only observe, but it could see every hole card at any table on the site. Step 3. In the second window, log into a regular player account. Join a high-stakes game. Step 4. Play. You know when to fold. You know when to raise. You know when your opponent is bluffing. You know when he has the best hand. You know exactly what he's holding. You cannot lose. The best players in the world win at 5 or 6 big blinds per 100 hands over the long term. That's the edge. That's what separates professionals from amateurs. With God mode, you could win at 100 big blinds per 100 hands, 200, more. The only limit was how greedy you wanted to be. For 4 years, it worked. The accounts kept changing names. Neo Neo, Sleepless, No Paddles, Whack Me 44, Fire in Texas, Manizzle, Stone Tonight, Rockstar LA, NY Mobster, Flatbroke 33. 117 screen names across 23 accounts. The usernames would appear in high-stakes games, win enormous sums, then vanish, replaced by fresh identities before anyone could track the pattern. The high-stakes players noticed. They always notice. July 2007, professional player David Paredes sits down at a $25, $50 no-limit hold'em table. Across from him, an account called Neo Neo. No profile, no history, just a screen name and a stack of chips. What happens next doesn't make sense. Neo Neo plays 60% of hands pre-flop, raises 40% of the time, numbers that would bankrupt any normal player within hours. But Neo Neo doesn't go bankrupt. Neo Neo wins. Hand after hand, the account makes plays that shouldn't work, calls that shouldn't be profitable, bluffs that shouldn't succeed. Every time Paredes has a strong hand, Neo Neo folds. Every time Paredes is weak, Neo Neo attacks. By the end of the session, Paredes has lost $70,000. He talks to other players. They've had the same experience. They pull hand histories, run the numbers through poker tracker software, create scatter plots. The results are staggering. Neo Neo was winning at 114 big blinds per 100 hands. The best players in the world win at 5 or 6. A rate of 10 would be extraordinary. A rate of 20 would be suspicious. A rate of 114 is impossible. Statistically, it's equivalent to winning the lottery multiple times in a row. Neo Neo had won 13 of 14 sessions. Total haul, $135,000. In just 3,000 hands against 2 players, the account had extracted $300,000. The players take their findings to 2+2, the largest online poker forum. Threads multiply, screen names are cataloged, hand histories are dissected. Amateur detectives build a case. By January 2008, Ultimate Bet can no longer ignore it. The Kahnawake Gaming Commission opened a formal investigation in early 2008. Ultimate Bet moved to get ahead of the story. They conducted their own internal review, hired lawyers, prepared statements. May 2008, they released their findings. The cheating, they claimed, occurred over a 20-month window, March 2006 to December 2007. 6 accounts, 18 screen names. The cause? Unauthorized software code installed by a former consultant. They stressed that no one in the current management was involved. They promised $6.1 million in refunds. The poker community didn't believe any of it. September 2008, the commission releases its report. The cheating didn't start in 2006. It started in May 2004, years earlier than Ultimate Bet admitted. It didn't involve 6 accounts. It involved 23. It wasn't 18 screen names. It was 117. And the IP addresses used by the cheating accounts traced to 2 primary locations: Las Vegas, specifically Russ Hamilton's home, and Aruba, specifically during Ultimate Bet's sponsored poker events, tournaments where Hamilton was a featured guest. The commission's conclusion was unambiguous. Russ Hamilton, 1994 world champion, co-founder and consultant to Ultimate Bet, was the main person responsible for the fraud. Ordered restitution, $22.1 million. Fine, $1.5 million. 31 individuals identified as participants. Hamilton was never arrested, never charged, never prosecuted. The site was offshore. The servers were in Costa Rica. The regulators were in Canada. The suspect was in Nevada. No prosecutor wanted to navigate the jurisdiction. Ultimate Bet paid the fines. Hamilton kept the money. The truth might have ended there. A scandal, a fine, then silence. But Travis McCarr had other plans. McCarr had been Hamilton's assistant for years, his right-hand man on all things technical. He owned several of the accounts used in the scheme. He knew everything, and he had insurance. In 2008, as the scandal was breaking, McCarr had attended a meeting at Ultimate Bet's offices. Present, Hamilton, Pearson, 2 attorneys, Daniel Friedberg and Sanford Millar. The topic, damage control, how to minimize payouts, how to frame the story, how to protect the people at the top. McCarr brought a recorder, 3 hours of audio, captured without anyone's knowledge. April 15, 2011, Black Friday. The U.S. Department of Justice seizes Ultimate Bet and several other poker sites. The charge? Bank fraud, violations of the Unlawful Internet Gambling Enforcement Act. The site goes dark. Players with money in their accounts never get it back. May 2013, McCarr uploads the recording. The tape is devastating. On it, Hamilton admits everything. "I did take this money," he said. "I did take this money," he said. "And I am not trying to make it right, Dan. So we got to get that out of the way right away, real quick." No remorse, no justification. Friedberg suggests getting the liability down to $5 million, depending on how creative we get. They discuss who to blame, how to make it look like a hack rather than an inside job. Hamilton admits to personally taking $16 to $18 million. Industry estimates place the total theft closer to $50 million. The victims included poker's biggest names. Mike Matusow, 2005 World Series bracelet winner, lost over $1 million to Hamilton in heads-up sessions. Hamilton would call him personally, invite him to play, then rob him using God mode. "All the money I won at the 2005 main event," Matusow said later, "I gave it all to Russ while he was stealing it from me." Prahlad Friedman, Robert Williamson III, Ben Affleck, all cheated, none knew. Black Friday killed Ultimate Bet. The site went dark. The servers were seized. Players with money in their accounts never got it back. Phil Hellmuth and Annie Duke had severed ties in December 2010. The brand was finished. Hamilton disappeared from public life. Rumors placed him at cash games in Florida. Low stakes, low profile. No one could confirm. His bracelet remained his. His name stayed in the record books. But at the World Series of Poker, the tournament he once won, his banner no longer hangs in the hallway. He is the only main event champion without one. As for Daniel Friedberg, the attorney on the tape, he found new employment. In 2022, he resurfaced as Chief Compliance Officer for FTX. FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange founded by Sam Bankman-Fried, the company that collapsed in November 2022. $8 billion in customer funds missing. Same lawyer, same job, different billions. Friedberg cooperated with the FBI, testified against his former boss. He was never charged for Ultimate Bet, never disbarred. He's still practicing law. No one went to prison. Not Hamilton, not Pearson, not Friedberg, not any of the 31 individuals the commission identified. The money was offshore. The victims were scattered across the globe. The crime existed in a legal gray zone. Russ Hamilton got away with it. The picture still exists somewhere. The 330-pound champion holding his silver bars. 1994. Before God Mode. Before the theft. Before anyone knew what he would become. They did take it off the wall. But the question remains, in all those years of online poker, the boom, the billions, how many other God Modes existed? And how many are still running?